Right, no, a good little drive. I'm just concerned about what the actual path is going to be like over to the Marienfluss village, so Marienfluss Valley, sorry. Well, that's the route we're supposed to take. I'm just going to stop, I think, and just walk up there and see what it looks like. That looks pretty bad. That's pretty serious, eh? It's shale rock and a big drop right here. Hang on, there's a route over there, eh? You can see these rocks, I mean, look at this. Just insane. Driving over these. Gosh. You can see that it's just jagged rocks here. Anyway, let's go and just check. I saw another route over the top. Let's go and check that and see how we get on. So I believe this is a way to an old marble mine. So I'm just going to follow the route on foot. I don't want to have to try and find somewhere to turn around up here. Wow, what a great tree. Just beautiful colours, and actually a bit of green on it as well. There's this one up here as well, like miniature baobab trees. Actually looks like it's got some fruit slash flowers on them. So this side's certainly looking a lot better, so always sensible to walk it. You can see a nice valley down the bottom there. That's where we want to go. It's just a question of, does the road allow us to? Not as bad as I thought. I still wouldn't want to do it. That bit at the top there's a bit gnarly. It comes down here. Looks pretty good. I think we can do this all right. The big boulders here, which is a bit of a problem because I'm certainly wider than that. So that's an issue. Bumpy, bumpy.
Overall, the pass wasn't too bad. Nice and short at least. But I was worried about how steep it was, given I was going downhill with a heavy vehicle on these either shiny smooth or loose rocks. It's hard to capture the steepness accurately on camera. This section looked a bit dodgy, as there are quite a few drop-offs in a row, which if sliding and bouncing up and down, pose the risk of smashing something like my rear wing fuel tank full of our precious diesel. And the previous section was too narrow, meaning I'd be tilting quite heavily in two directions, whilst bumping up and down on the various rocks. With a heavy roof tent on top, there was some risk of losing control and tipping over. So what to do? Drive down risking the landy a little, but getting a few cool shots and slightly building up my image as an overlanding hero? Or turn around and drive all the way back to Blue Drum? 7 years of driving around Africa has taught me it's usually better to dent your ego rather than your vehicle. If we had been going uphill and the country wasn't heavily under travel restrictions, I'd have driven it. But the steepness combined with being alone and zero chance of any kind of help meant I decided to turn around and take the long way home.
Alright, Marienfluss. We'll see you tomorrow, eh?
A low-risk approach to everything seemed smart given the circumstances. And at the end of the day, it didn't really matter one jolt of anything where I put up my tent tonight. Nothing in the universe would be affected apart from my pride. It's always better to live to camp another day.
Right, well, it's much quicker going back than it is going because I don't have to stop and film anything. And just stopping for a minute to fill up all my drink bottles and put them back in the fridge. I find these 600ml bottles pretty good. That's about what I want to drink each time I'm thirsty. And so I just put them through my water tank, pump and filter. There we go. getting absolutely plastered on my my neck here from the sun, which is pretty bad. Just feel it crisping up like bacon or something. Okay, almost back at Blue Drum, so it's a bit of a sense of disappointment. So we'll carry on east and get to Red Drum and turn north, I think, a bit and see how we feel there. So, hello again. So I've got quite a major riverbed here, and there has been water through in the last few days, so I'm just going to push on. I've got to cross it a couple of times before I get to Red Drum. I'm going to try and do that tonight, just in case it rains and I don't get trapped on the wrong side of it.
The rocky track was the usual slow and bumpy going. In and out of the riverbed, second gear, a quick shift up to third and then back down to second. Slightly tedious and slow driving after a long hot day. But for a pleasant change, the setting sun was actually behind us, which makes the scenery glow beautifully, and makes me happy for not having to slog into the late afternoon sun like so many other times on my travels around Africa. I love warm, sunny environments. However, my Scottish and Irish skin isn't such a dedicated fan. And no matter your complexion, squinting into the sun and feeling your skin physically burning as you drive into a 45-degree raise is a tough afternoon by most standards. So when route planning, I always strongly factor in the direction of the sun. As the shadow of the Landy was getting very long, Red Drum became visible and indicated the point where, even if it flooded tonight, I wouldn't have to cross the river anymore to get into the Marienfluss Valley, as she was just around the corner from here. So this seemed as good a place as any to stop for the night.
So I've made it to Red Drum. That's good. I'm across the major rivers. Cloud blows in with rain. Should be okay. I was thinking of staying the night here. There is, however, quite a encampment of timber tents or houses up there.
No need to worry in the end. A few ladies came down to say hello and figure out what I was doing. I usually don't film other people until I've made some kind of connection with them and asked if it's okay. Given our complete lack of a common language, that was a challenge. But armed with my few words of Himba, we muddled through to a peaceful understanding. As ever in Africa, they were concerned I was alone and without a woman to look after me. It seems you're not the only one who desires being in the passenger seat of the Landy. I get a lot of marriage proposals in Africa, especially from policewomen at checkpoints.
So just in case you're wondering, it's a leopard, I believe. Just had a nice little interaction with the Himba people living up there. A woman came down. She's more of a traditional Himba woman with all the red clay and everything. I just asked, is it okay to sleep here? I think she explained it's better to sleep up near them because the cattle will come here around the trees or something. So she invited me to camp up there. I explained that actually I was just going to sleep and then go quickly, and she said, oh, okay, that's all right, yeah. Just to sort of help them out a little bit because things are quite tough up here. They sell some souvenirs, that's not particularly good. But, a couple of, what I'd pay, £4, $5 or something, it goes a long way up here. She also explained she was breastfeeding and she had kids and, could have helped with any food. So I gave them a couple of cans of baked beans and a can of tuna. I've got some flour and sugar, which may have been more useful, but I couldn't find it in the back of a Land Rover now. That was all I had to hand. Luckily they got the pop tops off, so they don't need a can opener or anything. And I think everyone, kids and everybody can eat baked beans and tuna in sunflower oil. I mean, how's that not good? Yeah, so anyway, this is Red Drum. We made it. Look at the Beautiful, beautiful sunset, eh? So that's our route tomorrow, going north into Marienfluss. That's where we're going to camp, the Himba family just up in the hills there. That's the road south, which we'll talk about tomorrow. I had a fun incident up there. What was it, 6 months ago, 8 months ago? That's the road we've come from with the setting sun. Well, a bit of an exhausting afternoon, sort of dead end. Well, some fun exploring if nothing else, and saw quite a bit along the way. Dead animals and marble and everything. But yeah, ultimately disappointing not to get down into that valley. I think the only thing that actually annoys me about it is the diesel side of things. Get ready for bed. I think it's going to be another windy night, unfortunately. Less than glamorous.
The westerly wind really picked up as the sun was setting, so much so that it was rude enough to ruin the audio of my dinner.
Burger sliced cheddar toast processed cheese and a delicious can of Lucky Star.
When travelling long term and filming, I generally have to sacrifice things like cooking proper food, as the preparations, cooking and cleaning up afterwards can knock a few hours out of the day, and the start and the end of a day offer the most interesting light for filming and photography, and animals. Also here I was carrying enough food for 2 months given the state of the world, so it needed to be things that last a long time and take up minimal space rather than racks of ribs and fresh lettuces. And I really needed to preserve water in case I broke down and had to sit around for a month hoping some help would turn up. So whilst the food isn't usually amazing, at least the views in the dining room are usually pretty special.
Right, quite a strong wind coming from behind the Land Rover in this direction, but just over here there's quite a big thick blank of cloud, and I can see a lot of lightning happening over there every 10 or 20 seconds. I'd like to just pass out exhausted and tired. I'm very, very sunburnt today, just because of the direction of the driving. Yeah, this is Overlanding. Just, you know, you've had a long day, things didn't go badly, nothing major wrong. It was just annoying I couldn't get through to that beautiful valley. We can get there tomorrow. Just a bit of waste of diesel more than anything. Exciting, eh? The life I choose to lead. I could be sitting at home on my big 3-seater sofa, you know, 75-inch TV, Netflix, YouTube, you know. But no, I chose to do this. It's more exciting. So an hour's gone by and it's not good news on the storm front. The lightning is getting bigger and closer. Camera's not doing a very good job at picking it up, but believe me, it's getting a bit interesting out there. Flash. Flash. Oh, it's scaring the bejeebus flash. It's scaring the bejeebus out of me. So it's now an hour later, and the storm, I don't know, seems to be staying in the same place. It's got a little bit closer, but it's absolute carnage. I mean, wow, whoever made the lightning gods angry did a good job. I can see why there's no tall trees around. I mean, you stick your head above a parapet here and you just go bang, you know. I've lost count at sort of, you know, around 200. It's just ferocious. I can assure you it's a little bit nerve-wracking sitting here. I've had some pretty ferocious storms before in Congo. Zimbabwe was pretty bad as well. But yeah, this is why I don't, you know, generally try to travel in Africa in the rainy season. It's unpredictable and difficult. Didn't look like the storm was coming any closer, so I put the tent up. So I've been in the tent sort of 30 minutes, just blowing a gale and swirling around and tents moving all over the place. So yeah, it's hard work today. Like the storm to go away, the wind to go away, and to get some sleep. Basically, I'm completely irrelevant. The planet's going to do what it's going to do. So. Alright, well, that's enough of me whinging in the dark and the storm and the wind, and we'll see you in the morning, come what may.
Stop rolling the dice and just compromise. It's the chance of your life.